Look, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but that Pinterest perfect dream home you just signed for, it's actually a 30-year financial death warrant, disguised as a status symbol. I mean, you see, you aren't actually building equity. You're just paying for some bank CEO's third yacht while you're stuck grinding in a cubicle. Look, I get it. You've been told since you were a little girl that a house is the ultimate investment, right? But that white picket fence is actually a cage designed to keep you working until you're 65 years old. I'm here today to expose the psychological scam that turns high-earning women into house-poor slaves for the banking industry. We're tearing down the ownership myth and looking at why your dream home is actually just a liability with a fancy kitchen island. Think about it for a second. You spend the best years of your life, your 30s and 40s, grinding through soul-crushing meetings and chasing that next promotion, all to fund a 3,000 square foot structure you only really enjoy on Sunday mornings, right before the Sunday scaries hit. You've been sold a romanticized version of stability that's actually the most volatile gamble of your life. While you're busy obsessing over $20 square foot marble tile, well, the bank is quietly calculating how to extract $500,000 in pure interest from your future paychecks. It's the ultimate gaslighting campaign, really. The industry calls it the American dream. But for most professional women today, it's a high-maintenance nightmare that smells like expensive diptyque candles and crushing debt. You think you're an owner, right? Well, try missing 3 payments and see who really holds the keys. You're essentially just a glorified high-end tenant for the banking system, except you're the one responsible when the $15,000 HVAC system decides to die in July. You aren't building a legacy. You're building a prison with very nice curb appeal. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how those bars were built and why your investment is actually a hole in the ground that you're throwing your freedom into. Let's actually talk about those numbers you've been, avoiding while you were busy picking out paint swatches and scrolling through Pinterest for kitchen island inspiration. The bank is literally praying you don't pull out a calculator because the math on your so-called investment is a straight-up horror movie. See, when you sign for a $450,000 mortgage at today's 7% rate, you aren't actually buying a $450,000 home. You're signing up to hand the bank over $620,000 in interest alone. Let that sink in for a second. You're paying over $1 million for a pile of wood and shingles. It's probably going to need a $20,000 foundation repair in 5 years. You think you're building wealth? No. This is really the rule of 72 working in total reverse. And let's be clear, it's working against you, not for you. Newsflash. The bank isn't your friend. They're a sophisticated predator. They front load the interest so that for the first 10 years of your, quote, ownership, your actual equity is basically non-existent. You're essentially just paying for the privilege of staying in a building you don't even own yet, right? Every time you write that check, you're just handing them the keys to your freedom, 1 month at a time. Why are we as a society even celebrating this? I mean, why do we post photos with those giant sold keys like we just won the lottery? It is not an asset if it's draining $3,500 out of your pocket every single month without putting a single cent back in. You've been sold a lie that a liability is a legacy. But look, as bad as the interest looks on paper, that's not even the most expensive part of this trap. Because while you're focused on the money leaving your bank account, There's something else being stolen from you that you can never, ever get back. Look, I get it. The bank tells you that you're qualified for a 7-figure mortgage, and they practically roll out the red carpet while they're, well, measuring you for the handcuffs. Listen to me. I really don't care if the bank approves you for a mansion. If your PITI, that's your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, is eating up more than 25% of your net take-home pay, you aren't a homeowner. You're just a resident ATM for the bank. Honestly, you're one corporate restructuring away from a total collapse. Also, you can have a marble kitchen island that you're too stressed to even enjoy a coffee on. Next, I need you to run an interest arbitrage audit. This is where the American dream marketing falls apart and the scary math begins. Open your amortization schedule, if you can even stomach looking at it. If your total interest cost over the life of the loan is more than 50% of the home's original value, you are being robbed in broad daylight. You're effectively paying for 2 houses but only getting to live in one. I mean, if you can't swing a 15-year fixed or commit to an aggressive principal paydown strategy that slashes that interest, you're just a glorified tenant with a much higher repair bill. Then there's the opportunity cost test. And this is the one that really hurts. You take $100,000, your hard-earned down payment, and you literally bury it in the dirt of your front yard. In 30 years, your house will likely just track inflation at around 3%, right? But if I take that same $100,000 and put it into an S&P 500 index fund with its 10% historical return, that grows into $1.7 million. You're literally choosing a dream home today over a nearly.
But let's look at the numbers the bank conveniently left out of their glossy brochure. Your net worth is now officially tied up in dead equity. You see, that is money you cannot touch, cannot spend, and cannot reinvest unless you sell the roof over your head or beg the bank to let you borrow against it. You're literally living inside your piggy bank, but the bank, they're the ones who hold the key. Now, contrast that with the alternative. You follow my lead. You optimize your housing. Maybe you rent a chic apartment or buy a modest condo, and you keep your capital liquid. You prioritize cash-flowing assets like index funds or high-yield investments that actually put money into your pocket every single month. Fast forward 15 years. You're 47 now. The homeowner is still stressed, still grinding at a 9-to-5 she probably outgrew years ago because she's one missed paycheck away from losing that dream. She's staring at a leaking roof, a property tax bill that keeps climbing, and another 15 years of interest payments. Meanwhile, the investor, the one who focused on psychology over prestige, has a portfolio that pays for her entire lifestyle. She's not working because she has to. She's working because she wants to. Real wealth isn't about what you own. It's about what pays you to exist. See, one of these women is a slave to a zip code. The other is a global citizen with options. Which one sounds like actual freedom to you? But even if you think you're too smart to fall for the mortgage trap, there is a silent psychological predator waiting to drain your account the second you get those keys. It's a phenomenon that makes even the most rational people do something incredibly stupid with their money. And honestly, it all starts with a single, innocent trip to the furniture store. So, here's the brutal reality. The bank didn't actually sell you a dream. No, they sold you a 30-year subscription to a life you literally can't afford to quit. See, we've been conditioned to believe that signing away 3 entire decades of our primary earning years is somehow a milestone. But I need you to see it for what it actually is. A financial cage with nice landscaping. Right?
I mean, when you actually factor in that 7% interest, the property taxes, those emergency roof repairs, and that soul-crushing mortgage insurance, you aren't paying the sticker price. You're paying 2 to 3 times the value of the home over the life of the loan. Think about that for a second. You are working 40 hours a week just to hand the first 15 years of your labor directly to a banking executive's bonus fund. It's a scam. Honestly, I've seen way too many brilliant professional women trapped in golden handcuffs, staying in jobs they hate and enduring toxic bosses because they're terrified of losing the house that was supposed to make them feel secure. Newsflash, that isn't security. It's a hostage situation. Look, your home is a place to live, a place to create memories, and a place to sleep. It is not a retirement plan, and it certainly shouldn't be your only investment. Stop letting society, and especially your bank, guilt you into a 30-year prison sentence just to impress people you don't even like. Seriously? Real wealth isn't a granite countertop and a zip code you can barely afford. Real wealth is having the liquidity to walk away from any situation that no longer serves you. Period.
So, if you're ready to stop thinking like a consumer and start building a portfolio that actually buys your time back, hit that subscribe button right now. We don't do fluff here. We do freedom. Comment the word freedom below if you're ready to audit your housing costs this week and reclaim your future. Don't let the dream home turn into your biggest financial nightmare. I'll see you in the next one.